Hello, listeners and viewers of the Radio News Hub and the Global TV across the globe. This is Professor Dr. Atleast Dwivedi. You are listening to Radio News Hub from 300 stations headquartered in London, and you are watching the Global TV, a social media channel, YouTube channel run by myself. We all are aware about the situation unfolding in Afghanistan. Day by day it's changing. Taliban has taken over and they have just announced their government, where most of the people are either listed terrorists or they have some record of very heinous crimes. This is a worrisome situation. 2 weeks back, the Global TV got a hold of a noted social activist and director of a very reputed NGO in Afghanistan called Her Afghanistan, and spoke to its director exclusively. Here is the entire interview in its full. Now we have Miss Jahara Karimi. Welcome to the show, Miss Jahara. Please tell the listeners around the globe of Radio News Hub a bit about yourself and the situation inside Afghanistan.
Hello, Britney. Hello, everyone who's listening to us. Yeah, so the situation right now is really uncertain. I've been stuck at home for days, and I have no idea what's going to happen. I mean, it was 3 days ago that Kabul was captured. Everybody who, wherever they were, they had to run towards their homes. I called my sister; she was at university. My brother was at university. I called them to come at home. We're stuck at home, and and nobody knows what's going to happen. The government transition was so peaceful, and I mean, it was more peaceful than a democratic transition. There was no resistance from the government, and this is really upsetting, that we don't have any resistance we didn't have any resistance from the government. I mean, Taliban were considered terrorists for decades, and now they're here telling us that they're going to serve us. The security situation is better right now, I can admit that, but people like me, who are social activists or journalists, who have a public life, or work with NGOs that are engaged with foreign forces, are not feeling safe at all, even at their homes. Yeah, as for me, I don't feel safe at my home either. My mother even told me to go somewhere else if I can, to protect myself. And I'm looking forward to seeking help from other countries to see if I can leave anytime soon.
Okay, so as you are saying, situation is slightly better in comparison to previous days. You represent intellectual community inside Afghanistan. Uh, what do you think? To whom to blame for this situation? Do you think America, I mean, evacuated its soldiers in a very unplanned way, or what would you say the kind of reaction, a very passive reaction is coming from around the globe? Nobody is opposing so openly to whatever is going on inside Afghanistan. So, what do you think? Are you able to get any kind of information, watch any kind of news inside your house where you are stuck, or you are totally cut off from the rest of the Afghanistan?
Well, as for the first part of your question, I think yes, the U.S. troops' military withdrawal was completely and like really very badly timed, and the consequences of the U.S. military forces withdrawal was totally obvious. I was reading a research a few months ago where all of these consequences, the high rate of immigration, the which we observed, witnessed in the past few days. You just have to take a look at the videos from a few days ago to see how much people were panicking and they were trying to get out. And there were thousands of more people at their homes waiting for a flight to be available and to get out. I witnessed a lot of them myself, and violence was the other side of the other effect of the withdrawal, and there will be I don't know if there will be a resistance, but I hope there will be. And as for the next part of your question, which I missed, can you repeat it, please?
I'm asking, are you facing any difficult situation as far as yourself is concerned? You're a prominent individual. So through our show, would you like to give any message? Are you really very badly stuck? You are not able to watch news. You are not able to get an access to proper food, or what kind of situation you are in, and what kind of situation you can imagine, or you are listening about the rest of the provinces, especially in Kabul.
Well, we're still receiving a lot of news. So right now, the social media is a great force to spread the news. But I mean, one side of it is that there were a lot of fake news. Like today morning, I received a message from an individual telling me to get out of Kabul because you're at risk. Taliban are searching how everywhere, house by house, looking for journalists, looking for social activists and individuals like you have to get out of Kabul. So part of it is fake news, but the other part is definitely the news agencies are active on the social media. We're getting news, and we're also getting news from the TV. The media, that is I mean, that is a good side of it. And I'm definitely connected to my students, to my there to a lot of friends around Afghanistan. I know a lot of people who are around Afghanistan. They're asking me how you are doing, what is going on, and I've been connected with them. But as for the other side, which you mentioned before, are we left alone? I feel like yes, we are left alone, and we don't really have anyone to protect us right now from Taliban. Taliban have taken over the central government; they're the rulers now. I feel like we need protection from our own government right now, and that is what no one of the governments around the world are willing to give us. We need people to guarantee and talk to Taliban to see if women can represent themselves the way we could before. I mean, we have we have millions of women who are educated, millions of women who were in the workforce, millions of students who are around the Afghanistan, who are educated right now, and they have a very high level of critical thinking, and they have a lot of high hopes for the country. We don't know what is going to happen to us. I don't know what's going to happen. I have so many dreams. I cannot leave my country. This is my country. This is where I was born, and this is where I was educated, and this is where I have to serve. And I don't know if I can do that. And we feel abundant here, absolutely, and that is not fair to the people of Afghanistan. But yes, we kind of feel like we're sidelined by whatever was happening. But we can right now we're living in total uncertainty of what is going to happen next.
Here, I hope President Biden's administration is listening to this. This is a very prominent comment from a person who has a very transparent and unbiased opinion on the situation of inside Afghanistan. That majority of the people inside Afghanistan are feeling that they are abandoned. Yesterday night, Joe Biden came on TV. My question is, you have seen, I had seen a National Geographic magazine way back when I was a small kid. It had on its cover page, it had photographs of three Afghan girls, school-going Afghan girls. It was perhaps a 1979 edition, if I'm sure. It had girls wearing mini skirts, and they were very happy with a school bag on their back, and they were having many and skirts, and they were moving. It was perhaps a 1979 issue. Then we saw this Taliban, General Dostam, Gulubuddin Hikmatyar, and Najibullah, and Mullah Pahalwan, and so many warlords, so many Taliban leaders. And then again came a US Army, and everything became okay, normalized. Again, we are going to the same 1990s time, 1980s, 1990s time. So, do you think these people, I mean the Talibans, they can be hoped to be different than the earlier Taliban?
Well, of course, I think they're, well, I can't say for sure because everything is uncertain. And like I said before, it could be a cover up. The Taliban are being really nice to people right now. Like I said, they're taking selfies on the streets, and they're not stopping anyone. They don't really have those checkpoints to stop people or beat them or anything like they were doing before. But like I said, it could be a cover up, and I'm not sure if they're changed because, like I said before, the Taliban have shown in the past 20 years that they do not really respect women. They do not respect the human rights. There were the women were in the areas or under their control were beaten. The women were killed, being stoned, and the women and the girls couldn't go to school. Now they're telling everyone, get back to work. We're okay with you working. But how long will it be going on? I have no idea. The people of Afghanistan have lost the trust in, had lost the trust in the previous government. Now the current government is even hideous than the previous government. Now we're really uncertain if the Taliban has really changed, or is it the situation is gonna completely change in a few months from now.
I find a reason in believing you that people inside Afghanistan have lost trust in not only in the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, but in global leaders and global community for not speaking for so many days. This was not a one-day affair. I mean, we are listening the news of Taliban progressing, Taliban occupying one after another province, but there was plenty of time to react and to stop them. But global community did not do anything. So, so I mean, I find a reason to believe why people inside Afghanistan should not trust the global community, and global community is responsible for that. But as a person who is living inside Afghanistan, those who are there inside Afghanistan, be it the common people or the people who supported US operation in Afghanistan, what kind of future they can think of? I mean, can you imagine? It really worries me.
Yes, so what I imagine, the Taliban I don't know. I have There are definitely two case scenarios. The Taliban are either being honest and they have really changed, which is less likely, and the women will be able to get out, but they won't be able to go to do a lot of activities outside. But they will have a certain level of freedom. They can go to work with their hijab, which is again a violation of their right freedom to choose, or the freedom of speech will be restricted in Afghanistan. The social media might be controlled in Afghanistan. But the second case scenario is where the Taliban shows their real face and women are locked in their houses. They can't go out, and a lot of people will flee the country. A lot more people, we already have a lot of people who have fled already. A lot more people will flee to other countries, and the women will have no freedom, no rights, and they will not be able to have any place in the government or have any political participation, or let alone having the freedom of speech or the freedom of choice or the freedom for anything, for any activity in Afghanistan. So these are the two case scenarios, and I really can't say which one is more likely right now, but I'm imagining one of these things might happen.
Okay, so tough days ahead, but in this situation, when Afghan people are finding less reason to believe either on Taliban or on global community, I want to ask you if you have any message to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, if you have any message to top world leaders, if you have any message even to India, who also has lot of at stake inside Afghanistan. So, or the global community, if you have any message, please speak your heart.
So my message right now is, first of all, you lost, international community, United States, and all the allies. You lost in Afghanistan, and this was a disaster. Whatever they did in Afghanistan led to a bigger disaster. If the when the Karzai was selected as the president, if there was if there was security a little bit, and if there was freedom of right, freedom, and the rights were appreciated, we after that the situation deteriorated as the United States started doing more and more work. So the situation right now is a lot worse than it used to be. You are a failed. Um, they failed in Afghanistan. So my message right now is the least you can do is to secure, first of all, the Afghan employees who have worked for your government, who have served your government in Afghanistan, and second of all, as a third party in the negotiating team, they worked as the third party, and they had their envoy in Afghanistan, Zalmay Khalilzad. They signed a contract and they signed an agreement in Afghanistan with withdrawal. The United States respected that, but um, that at that time they didn't consider a lot of things in their agreement. The United States of America only respected one term in the agreement, and that was the withdrawal of the United States troops, which was done. But the rest of the things, whether they were guaranteed by the Taliban, the United States have to make sure of that, and they also have to talk to and negotiate with. They have to make sure the women's rights are guaranteed in Afghanistan before they recognize Taliban as the government of Afghanistan. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Jara. This was Ms. Jara Karemi, first General Director of Afghan Film Industry, which is only government entity as far as the film and cinema is concerned. I hope world community is listening to her appeal and message and what she explained about the situation inside Afghanistan, what kind of fear and doubt people of Afghanistan have in mind about Taliban and about the global community, which kept mum when Talibans were progressing towards Kabul. We will return with more news stories on Afghanistan. Till then, goodbye.
Hmm.